Hey Untold Radio Network fans, want exclusive perks and to support our channel? Introducing our YouTube membership program with 3 amazing levels. Get loyalty badges that level up to different cryptids the longer you're a supporter. How cool is that? You'll also get access to custom Bigfoot emojis and priority in chat. Upgrade to Backstage Pass for exclusive wallpapers, photos, status updates, discounted books, and merchandise. Go all in with the producer level for everything mentioned plus member shoutouts. Ready for an enhanced experience? Join now, pick your membership level, and let's make this journey even more exciting together.
Hesitation coming around again. Termination, more than we might have been. In a world of unbelievers, there is no way of getting across.
Welcome to the Discover Sasquatch podcast on the Untold Radio Network. Now join host and cryptid investigator Chris Reinhardt as he delves into the mysterious world of the cryptid phenomenon. From eyewitness accounts to scientific theories, we will explore the evidence and uncover the truth behind some of the most enduring legends together. Please subscribe, share the show, leave a nice comment, and give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, X, and remember this show is downloadable everywhere that great podcasts are found. And now your host of the Discover Sasquatch podcast, Chris Reinhardt.
Disclaimer. Content is for entertainment only. Listener discretion and responsibility apply. The network is not liable for listener actions or consequences.
Hello, my friends in Sasquatch land. Thursday night again at the Untold Radio Network. And Discover Sasquatch is back in the chair. We're back in control. We're at the helm. And do we have a show for you guys tonight for the big 25th episode? Whew. I just had a great time talking to these guys backstage. We got Mr. David Ellis from the Olympic Project, Tristan Yolton. We got Mr. M.K. Davis with us tonight. Boy, what a lineup. And we were going to be discussing the Sasquatch hum, the Bigfoot purr, whatever you guys want to call it. We got information for you all tonight. You can all make up your own minds where it comes from and what does it. And we're going to fill you all in on why you're here. And hopefully you're excited about it as we are, because it's pretty awesome stuff. So I just wanted to start off and say we have a good friend. His name is Brown Dwarf, and he lives out in Cali around the fires. And if we could just, keep him in our prayers and hope that he's doing well. He's a good friend of mine, and he's been doing lives like every other day, and I don't think I've seen him do a live today, so I hope everything's okay. Just keep him in your prayers. So let's see who's with us tonight. Oh, Fun Adventures with Bud and Angie. Hello. Oh, and BF Butter here. You guys are got your own computers going, sitting on the sofa. That's nice. Mr. Steve Wolf is with us. Hello, Levon. Mr. Jeff Yarrington. Old Line Cryptids, good evening. Mr. Billy Schilling's with us. Blue-Eyed Northern, good evening. The Squatch Father himself is here, Mr. Alfred Santariga. Hello, Francesca E. How are you? Chad Black, good evening, sir. So everybody is pouring in for this show. If I was on the other side, I'd be coming in too to watch this one. A lot of great information coming your way by people that have been doing this for a little bit and know a little bit about a little bit. So I am very excited to be able to share this podcast with them and actually have, a little bit to contribute on my end myself. So that's enough without me babbling. I'm going to start bringing these guys out one by one. And let's see, we'll just go right down the line. From the Olympic Project, Mr. David Ellis. Yeah. We got quite the crowd here, my friend. We got quite the crowd. How are you doing tonight?
Chris, I'm getting about a 5-second delay, and it's repeating everything. So it's
Yeah, your screen is freezing. You might have to.
You want me to reboot?
Please.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to move forward, and then I'll bring you back when you come back. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest from Washington State, and who's got some pretty impressive stuff. And if you don't know who he is, you should know who he is, Mr. Tristan Yolton. Hello, my new friend.
Chris.
How are you?
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
Really excited for this.
Yeah, thank you for being here. You're a key part. You're one of the biggest reasons why we're here tonight, and I'm glad that you made it. Really glad to have you here. And like I said, everybody, if you don't know who Tristan is, you should look into his stuff, and maybe we can find out where we can find him as we move along. Next on our list, coming down the line, is a good friend of ours, good friend of mine, Mr. M.K. Davis.
All right, glad to be here.
All right, hello, my friend. How are you tonight?
I'm good.
All right. Well, I'm so happy that you're here, and it's going to be a good night, and we're going to share some info with these fine people. And thank you for being here.
All right.
All right. And David is back, and let's bring him out again. He only gets one round of applause, though, per episode. So with Mr. David Ellis.
One was more than plenty.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. It's nice to get a little applause, you know. It's
a little surprise.
A little smile on your face, you know. So good evening, fellas. We are here to talk about the Sasquatch Hummm. We all know a little bit about it, and we all got little pieces to know about it. But Tristan is basically one of the first people that I know of that actually recorded it. And it was studied. And as far as I know, I don't know, maybe David, you know somebody else, but Tristan is the first one to record it. So I figure we'll start with Tristan and we'll move down the line, and he can tell everybody how he came across the Hummm. And then we'll move on to David, and then to MK, and then we'll keep on moving. So Tristan, good evening.
Good evening.
So just want to give everybody a little bit of background on yourself, and then let everybody know what the big, I guess you guys called it the Bigfoot purr, how you came across the Bigfoot purr.
I mean, I really don't know what to name it. Bigfoot purr is fine. The thing is, growing up, I was always interested in dinosaurs, monsters like Godzilla, alien predator, and of course cryptids such as Bigfoot. I've always had a fascination with them, but growing up, I never really wanted to research them or look for them because I always thought there's other people doing that. But that all changed for me around a little over 10 years ago when my father was taking the trash out one morning, and behind our house is like a huge wooded area that used to be owned by Weyerhaeuser, and now it's owned by Global Campbell. But it's a big forested area up behind me here, and as he was taking the trash out in the front yard, he heard two distinct whoops from two distinct opposite sides of this hill up here. Basically, like you heard one whoop, and then you heard another whoop further up answering it. And he made a mental note of that, and as he was going to work down the road up here, there was a herd of elk in the road, and they're all looking up at that hill. So he actually had to swerve his car around the herd of elk to get to work, but they're all looking up where those whoops were coming from. They're all looking up there. So he made another note of that. And for whatever reason, he didn't tell my mother and I about it until I think a few weeks later when we were watching, I think, a Bigfoot show, maybe possibly Finding Bigfoot. And that's when he mentioned it to us. And then we're like, oh, well, we should go up there and check it out, because I've always wanted to get the Sierra sounds. I've always been fascinated with those, and I wanted to capture something like that on audio. So we had an old Sony digital recorder here, which doesn't have a USB thing. It actually, like, for me to get this audio off of this recorder, I had to put a microphone cable attached to another digital recorder in order to record off of it to get onto a USB connector. But anyway, so I got that old recorder, and my mom got a peanut butter jar and some peanut butter crackers in these, in this little plastic, those little peanut butter crackers that come in the plastic things. And we went up on this hill, and near this creek, there's a old logging road that goes through this creek up there, and this creek kind of runs along that hill. And we were thinking, if it's a Sasquatch, we were thinking maybe they might follow this creek as a travel route. So we decided to place at this creek. There's there's a couple logs there, and we decided to place this peanut butter jar and these peanut butter crackers there. And there's also there's another log a little bit further up that I put my recorder on with the bungee cord, and we just left it there overnight. And then when we returned the next morning, the peanut butter crackers were all gone, and they were neatly opened. They weren't like ripped open or eaten open like maybe a bear would do it. They're neatly opened like this, and they're possibly maybe it went like this to eat them. I don't know. But the peanut butter jar had what I think looked to me like possible finger hole, dermal ridges and finger holes inside of the peanut butter jar, as if something maybe reached into it and took some peanut butter out and ate it. And the recorder didn't have any scratches or teeth marks on it, so I didn't think anything messed with it. But when I took it home and listened to it, and I had to listen to it on, I couldn't put it on a computer. I had to physically sit here and listen to luckily it happened after an hour we left, but I had to sit here and listen to the whole thing to find it. I can't just go on the computer and find it. I had to actually listen to the recorder with my headphones. But thankfully, whatever this thing was came in about an hour after my mother and I leave, and it was getting pretty dark at that time too. So it was dark out when this happened, and on the recorder you can hear this weird whoomp, kind of a whoomp sound, kind of like a feedback sound that occurs. And then you start hearing this thing eating, like you start hearing like plastic and something eating. You hear something starting to eat the food over here, like nearby the recorder. And then you hear this, then like a few seconds later, you hear this, I think it sees or somehow notices my recorder, and it makes this real loud sound. And then it comes over to the recorder and starts messing with it, while having this feedback humming sound occurring at the same time. And then after it's done fumbling with it, like it's gone. Like there's no other. You don't even really hear it leave. It just goes quiet like that, and then that's it. And it only happens for like at least a minute or so. And also after the initial whoomp sound, you can hear a wood knock and a whoop, I believe, in the background right after that initial sound. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a Bigfoot, but I don't know what other animal can make that sound around here. Like a black bear or something. I have no idea. It's unknown to me. But that's what kicked it off, this whole Bigfoot research thing. That's what started it for me. Because before that, I wasn't interested in researching, but this event, like, that kicked it off. So I've been doing it. I've been researching ever since. So.
It's the beginning of something, the show the way it needed to be. As we move along here, you're going to hear the recordings. You're going to see the pictures of the peanut butter jar. You're going to see the dermal ridges. You're going to see all that. And you're going to hear the purr, and that's what brought us all together tonight. So, David, I'm going to let you give you a little bit of background on yourself, and tell everybody about how you got involved with the hum, the purr, whatever you guys want to talk about, please.
Let's see if I can do kind of a Cliff Notes, quick get up to speed. So I've been doing Bigfoot field research since 2006. Started field recording in 2007, and just kept upping my game, doing different things. I was very fortunate to work with a lot of witnesses that were having activity around their homes, and started doing recordings with different witnesses over long periods of time, 4 and 5 years worth of work in one location before people finally give up the ghost, so to speak. And it's a tough business. So anyway, my paths crossed with Doug Hychek, and the reason that this is important is because Tristan had sent some audio to Doug. I wasn't aware, I knew of Tristan, and Tristan had been sharing some information with me, but he got so excited he called me up on the telephone and he introduced me to Tristan, which we already had met before. But anyway, we were reviewing different audio, and it was at that point that Tristan said that he had his very first recorder to hear that. And so he walked us through the scenario that we had just heard. And I was intrigued by this buzzing sound or humming sound that it was making while it seemed to be eating at some periods. It didn't. So it was a very strange and odd sound to be connected with Bigfoot, for one. I did talk to other researchers, and another researcher, Chris Spencer, had listened to the audio, and he was convinced that it was a moth. So I was a little bit on the fence, going different directions on what it could or could not be. But Doug played it, the audio on one of his Untold Radio podcasts, and we just got flooded with people from all over North America with recorded. So it became more of a possibility. So do we want to play the first cut?
Yeah, Dave, you're freezing up again. Yep.
Do you want me to stop my camera?
Let's bring you back out of here. And
I stopped my camera. I don't know if that helps.
That sound a lot better for sure.
Okay, well, we can do without seeing my face.
All right. Well, let's get MK to say hi to everybody, and then we'll proceed on. So MK, you're here also because you got a little. We approached we found out about the hum in a different kind of way. We approached it not hearing it, but we had actually activities happening that we talked about together, and came up with our own little thing about the hum and what was going on. So you want to just say hello to everybody, just a little background and how you got involved with the hum.
Well, yeah, sure. Being a Bigfoot researcher, you kind of have Bigfoot on the brain. So sometimes when things happen that are unusual, you wonder if Bigfoot is involved in this. Then one day, something got a hold to my hummingbird feeder, and it's hung up on the porch, and it's about 7.5 feet up, just suspended. And something took it completely apart, pulled out all the little plastic flowers, pulled the base apart, and poured all the liquid out. And there were 3 drops of what I took to be blood. It was just red drops on my porch going out the other end. Just so happened that during the night, it was a lot of moisture in the air, typical deep south weather, and the porch sweated. And I found some little barefoot prints in that they were dry, or surrounded by the sweat. And so that really got my attention. And so I was talking to Chris, as I just mentioned it to him in passing. I said, well, I don't know what Bigfoot likes, but I know what he don't like. And he don't like hummingbirds. He said, what? And it just so happened that Chris had his own experience with hummingbirds and feeders. So, there goes the case where dialogue, through dialogue, it's something that's really out there, obscure, starts to take form. And so I'll let Chris tell his story.
All right, everybody's kind of. David, can everybody still hear David? You can't see him on the screen, but everybody still hear him?
If I talk, can you hear me?
Hear him?
I can hear him.
I'm asking the people in the chat, see if they can hear you. Can you guys hear David even if he's not on the screen? Please, somebody. Yes. All right. Thank you, Pat. All right. So we're good. So I'm not going to take up that. Most of you guys have heard me tell the story about the hummingbird. So I'm going to just breeze right through mine. It was actually Maria who had the interaction with something that was coming up to the bird feeder for 4 days and just tearing her feeder flowers off and throwing them around and either drinking the juice or pouring out the juice. And she was getting upset, and she knows everything that's happened, and she's seen everything that's gone on with me. And she had it in her mind that it was the Sasquatch that were doing it. And she told me to go out there and tell them, bring back her flower, So I went out there. I said, okay, that's going to work. So I went out there and told her to bring back her flower. And sure enough, the next day in a little pile underneath the hummingbird feeder, there was a little pile of all the flowers, and the fifth one came back. And that night we had a blacked out chopper that stopped at our house and hovering over our apartment, and all the Sasquatch activity ended. And then that's when talking to MK about it, about the hummingbird, and he's like, I don't think that's like he said, I don't think the Bigfoot like hummingbirds too much. And we kind of touched on that pre-show a little bit tonight with David and Tristan. And I'm sure everybody has their own thoughts on it, but that's how MK and myself started talking about our own hum, and we did our own research, and I found out what the certain frequencies and certain things that are involved, and that's how we got introduced to the hum. So there's my story, very, very fast and short. So we'll move on here. David has been kind enough to make like a list that we could follow and move along, and shared a bunch of recordings, and so we're gonna approach it that way.
Okay. So you want me to set up cut one?
So set up cut one. I got it right here.
Okay. Cut one is a snippet. It's not the whole recording from Tristan. I just isolated the buzz, hum, whatever we want to call it. So you will be able to hear what sounds like it's eating something and creating this particular sound at the same time. Will also be explained by two individual things. For instance, Chris Spencer thought it was a moth wings. So we'll let people be their own judge on what they hear, but I think that as we go through, we might put some doubt in your mind. So that's the whole idea behind this is, get all the evidence before you make a conclusion. So what we're going to hear is what Tristan described as something kind of messing with the recorder, possibly eating near it, and creating this hum. So yeah, let's listen to it.
All right, I put it on StreamYard, and I put it on my soundboard. So if it's not loud on one, hopefully it'll be loud enough on the other, because you know how StreamYard dubs everything down, and then you start messing with volume levels and it just kills the recording. So we'll just do it the best we can here. Okay, so here it comes on my soundboard first. All right. There you go. Did that, how'd that sound? Did it sound good?
It started out good, but then it dropped off on my end. I don't know what happened. It looked like you made an adjustment or something.
No, I didn't touch it. It went straight through.
Might have been
Yeah.
StreamYard or something. I don't know.
I can play it. I'll play it on StreamYard. Here we go. Here's it again.
That was better on my end, Chris.
All right, we'll go with that then.
Okay, so my first thought was, let's check what the knowns are that could have possibly made this sound. And one was a moth, and the other was, a hummingbird. That's what it kind of reminded me of. And so let's go ahead and play cut number 2, which is a recording of a hummingbird.
Okay, here we go.
So,
Enough.
yeah. So if we can throw up, cut 3 is actually a spectrogram of comparing what Tristan recorded versus a hummingbird.
Go.
So this is a spectrogram, and you can see that it is resonating very similar to what Tristan's recording was. So I was under the impression that, I think mystery solved until Tristan told me that this was recorded, sometime early in the morning, maybe 3-4 o'clock in the morning, before daylight. So I did find that hummingbirds can be mobile in the dark when they're in mating season, but that's the only time. They typically do not fly at night. So that didn't eliminate hummingbird, but now it puts it in the iffy category. So if we want to go to cut 4, we can hear what moth wings sound like.
Okay, here we go. Cut number 4 coming your way.
So it sounds similar, but not exactly the same. And the spectrogram didn't show that much similarity. There was, in other words, it was more different than what the hummingbird showed. So I thought, if this is going to be related to Sasquatch in any way, we need to have, what do primates do? The primates make any purring sounds? And I found that gorillas do. And if we play cut 5, we can hear a gorilla purr. Not exactly the same, but I did find it interesting that, there is a category of vocalizations that gorillas do that are in what's called a purr. So I found that to be interesting, that because it now has some whatever relationship to our subject that we're trying to discover. Then I found that elephants make a call that's called the elephant rumble, and the cut number 6 is an alternating elephant rumble, then Tristan's recording, elephant rumble, Tristan's recording. So I think it's looped 3 times.
Okay.
So if we want to play cut 6,
Got it.
So it was kind of at this point that Doug Hychek was pretty sure that this sound had some legs, because we were now getting, because he had played it on his Untold Radio podcast, we were getting people sending us stuff from all over the place. And I don't know why I one day reviewed some audio that Igor Burtsev had recorded and stumbled across the purr. And the setup for Igor's recordings were, it was someplace in Eastern Europe. I think it was in the Ural Mountains, that this farmer was having an almasty come through his neck of the woods, and he would leave food for it in the barn. And he got the notion that maybe what he should do is put a recorder out there and see if it's making any sounds as it's taking the food. And lo and behold, he's got about 5 minutes of something making some very strange vocalizations that resemble speech at times, with phoneme streams and morphemes, as Scott Nelson discusses. So I took it upon myself to kind of break it down into certain smaller clips, and I had 3 of them that fall into this purr category. And I just picked one of them to play tonight, but I think you'll hear the resemblance. And what's important about this particular one is that you can hear it eating, like in Tristan's recording, where it's eating and making this sound. Also in this particular cut, it's eating and making this purring sound.
Okay. And is this the clip that possibly MK looked at way back when?
I think so, but like MK said, he reviews, thousands of hours of audio from people. And this was quite a while ago. This was like 15, 16 years ago when this first surfaced. So,
okay.
MK, you can correct me on anything.
I'll see if it brings back memories.
Okay, it's not talking; it's creating this purring sound. But
yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I think we got it, Chris.
Oh, okay. I thought it had other stuff on it. Okay.
Chris, let me ask you a question. Does that sound like 40 hertz to you?
No, nothing around on there. No, that just seems a little, I don't know, a little higher to me.
So the next clip is from Doug Hychuk, what he recorded on one of his trips to Snell Grove. It's just kind of a short burst of this similar purring sound. Well, many people would probably say it sounds like a bullfrog, but I've got a comparison so that we'll be able to hear the difference.
All right, so number 9 we're playing next, or we
Number 8.
want to show that? Okay, go. Bring it up. Whoops. Well, one-man gang here, so got a lot of people to keep track of. Share screen. Here we go. There we go. Like magic.
Oh, that's the spectrogram.
Yeah, that was number 8.
Okay, we want to play number 9 then first, and then we'll come back to number 8. I had it
All right.
reversed.
Yeah, I'll leave it up though. So we'll just. All right, here we go. We're gonna play number the.
Okay. Yeah, I think we got it.
Yeah, it's off. It's still playing?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't hear it at all.
It's still.
There we go.
It's done.
Wow,
that's pretty impressive, though. It's crazy.
I loop things because people always ask, could you play it again if you only, play the sound once? So
I didn't hear it. That was weird.
Oh, you didn't hear it at all?
No, I didn't hear it. No, I pushed stop on my end and it didn't play no more.
Oh.
And then you guys said it was kept on going, so that was very strange.
Yeah.
So
okay, well, anyways.
Yeah, I think you can see by the spectrogram that it's not identical to the bullfrog sound. That there's much more depth to it.
Right.
So the bullfrog, I think, it can be eliminated as a possibility of what Doug recorded at Snellgrove. So if it wasn't a bullfrog, what the heck was it?
Right. That was a crazy time. That trip was, they were walking all over the place out back, whatever it was, didn't see it, but slapping the house and raking. It was pretty.
So the cut number 10 comes from John Andrews, who recorded this, and Paul Graves was with him at the time. They were at one of their favorite locations where they have activity. And they had sent me a 2-minute clip of something that came into their camp and was wreaking havoc and creating all kinds of noise. And then it seemed to have left. And in the recording, about 4 minutes after this activity, was this purring sound. Paul Graves called me up and said, David, I don't know what's going on, but could you check this sound that I'm hearing at this particular mark? And he said, I've never heard anything like this before, but there it is on the recording. And let me know what you think. And so he sent it to me, and it was the Bigfoot purring thing. And I called him back immediately, and I said, I think you're on to something. We're getting this from all over the country, and now you've just kind of solidified it. And he got pretty excited about that and went on the internet and looked at the Bigfoot forums, which was a big congregation of Bigfoot researchers and people that were interested in the subject would participate in different threads. And one of the threads that he found was a buzz that people had been talking about. And in one of the threads about this was a newspaper article, and we'll show that in cut 11. But let's play cut 10. This is what Paul heard that he thought was interesting, and I confirmed it for him.
Okay.
Mosquito.
Oh,
So let's put up cut number 11, which is a picture of a newspaper article, and I'll read the highlighted part.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Can you make that just a little bit larger? Is that it? Okay, there we go. I can read that. Highlighted part says Mrs. Caulfield relates that she was washing clothes in a river when she heard a buzzing sound similar to that made by a hummingbird. And Mrs. Caulfield said, I turned my head, but instead of a bird, there stood the most terrible thing I ever saw in my life. I thought I'd die, for the thing that made the funny noise was a big man covered with hair from head to foot. He was looking at me, and I couldn't help looking at him. I guess he was a Sasquatch. So that, when I read that article, it kind of confirmed it to me. Now we have an eyewitness seeing a Bigfoot making a hummingbird type noise. And this was 1934. So it was a while ago.
I remember when the day you sent that to me, when you found it, you're so excited. You're like, you're not going to believe this, but check out this article.
So there's something to this, and maybe some people in your podcast audience have heard this kind of thing before. If you have, please send anything and everything you got to Chris Reinhardt. We're trying to amass as much as we can on this particular topic because we think that there's something to it.
Yeah. And it's all because of
Tristan.
Like, Tristan, and like MC said before, dialogue.
Yeah.
Because, you
Yeah.
guys,
You got to talk about it. Sort of like what we're doing tonight. But if there's any doubt about how a Bigfoot feels about a hummingbird, I found where he had swatted one out of the sky and knocked him across the road. I found him. He was laid out. I picked him up, and he came to in my hands and flew off, and he had cobwebs on his bill from being slapped on the porch. Underneath the edge of the porch was cobwebs.
So
He didn't do it to himself, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
And when there's no cars are there's nothing to swat it across the way. So
No, it was.
Right. So there are a couple people in the audience that have heard Blue Eyed Northern. She's a good friend of mine. She thought she heard what was a bull roarer, one of the Australian bull roars, that they swing in the sky, the woo woo. I have one of those in my pack, by the way, and I bring it with me out ever since I got hooked on the Hummm. Who else has mentioned the Hummm? That's been Barb Shoop has mentioned the Hummm. She's got a recording of the Hummm. The Sisters of the Moon went on they had a Debbie Porch went on, and Barb were on the show about a month ago. And they said they didn't bring any equipment with them this time on the trip. But the strangest thing that was going on is that there was two of them there. And then one, if I remember right, two of them were there. And one was walking around the back of the tent and the fire and it was doing the craziest thing. And I'm like, well, what was it doing? She goes, it was humming. Like I like a hummingbird. And she's like, yes, like a hummingbird. And I was like, why are you kidding me? So it's been all over the place. There's BF Bud. Remember that recording, David, I sent you that you compared with your recording out in out west? Remember you matched it up?
Gosh, Chris, there's quite a few people that I've done that with. So it's not ringing any bells, but I'm sure we did.
Right. But he's got a motor hum that he sent to me, and I want to play it for all you guys. I just got to load it up real quick. But it's off the same, and I loaded up the recording too that you got. So just let me do this real quick. All right, it's loading up. Now this sounds more mechanical. I played it for Tristan, but there's nothing. He was telling me today, there's nothing in each direction over a half mile. There's nothing, no electricity here. There's no anything that could have a motor running where they're at. They're in the middle of the woods and of nowhere with no electricity, no nothing. And this is what they captured. Playing. Can't hear it so low, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you can hear it, but it's very low right now. Yeah.
Son of a gun. But I'm gonna, David. I want to send this to you after
Sure.
the show to take a look at.
You bet.
Because it sounds just like one of those old sub pump motors, like it's like a very mechanical sound, but there's nothing there that could be mechanical. And and then I'll send you that other clip too, and then you'll remember it was caught on the same night as the clip that you compared to yours and put them together, and it's the same scream. Like 10 years earlier you caught it, and then he caught it 10 years later, and it's the same exact scream. You even put it on the spectrogram and everything. So I want to send that over for you to check out.
You guys familiar with throat singing by Tibetan monks?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. Yeah. A lot of sounds sometimes are similar to that, throat singing. I think they have that capability as well.
Yep.
And they have demonstrated it.
I sent you a photo, Chris, through your email.
Yep. Let's go. What, just before or?
It's the Hummingbird. The one I picked up.
Oh,
okay. Let me get to the email.
I couldn't find the photo of the track, but I did find that one.
Okay. Oh, jeepers, a little tiny guy. Right. It'll take me 2 seconds to get to it.
I believe he must have killed one because there were 3 drops of what it looked like blood. I didn't analyze it, but it struck, going down my porch out the other end.
All right, I got it there. It's coming. Hold on 1 second. There it is.
Oh,
Mm.
I see the cobwebs.
Yeah.
It came. See, it's got cobwebs in his bill.
Yeah.
Yep.
He came to in my hands and flew away.
Oh.
So, what do you guys think? What do you think's going on? What do you think this is? Is it like if it's like you pet a cat and it purrs, it's more of a pleasure thing, you know? What do you think's going on? What do you or is it a vibration they put out to sense things, or what do you think, Tristan? What do you think they're using this hum for? If it's a Sasquatch, what do you
Well, I
think they would use it?
I've been debating if it's some kind of infrasound that they're producing. Or if it's related to infrasound, or if it's something different. I'm not really sure. And you know, if they're producing it while they're eating and things like that, like I don't know. I don't know what the point of it is. I guess maybe they're happy they're eating and that's why you hear it. I don't know. Maybe it is like a purr.
Is your peanut butter jar? Was it Nutella by any chance?
No, I think it was like, I'll have to look at the label again, but I think it was like Jiffy or something like that. I don't think it was Nutella.
Yeah,
I'll
I
have to look
got
at the label.
I got a cast of a Nutella jar where a Bigfoot had reached down into they put it in plastic drain pipe 8 feet up in the air, and it reached up in there and stuck its fingers into the open end of a Nutella jar.
Yeah.
And Cliff Brackman or somebody froze it and then cast it. And I bought a cast. I'll show it to you.
All right, let me get this off of here. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
They come out of the Nutella jar.
Wow.
Fingers.
Fingers.
Yes.
It was too far back in there for a person. That's what he was telling me. It almost certainly had to be a Bigfoot or Sasquatch. It's too high up also.
Those are pretty big too.
Yeah, that's her big, thick fingers.
Yeah.
Squish. But that's a pretty novel idea to freeze it, you know. Freeze it where it's hard and then cast it.
Well,
What do you
Chris,
think?
I don't think there's a hardcore rule for this particular sound, but there is another story that I have heard where a Sasquatch was seen holding and washing its baby in a creek and creating this buzzing, humming sound, which means some nurturing, some calming, possibly effect, which would also fit in with what we heard with Tristan's. While it's eating, it's contentment, showing contentment of some sort. So I think that there's a possibility of that, but there's other related sounds where I think can get into the range, which to me means maybe more of an aggressive nature. So I don't know if there's going to be a hardcore rule on this, but just should start paying attention to when we hear this specific sound in the woods. Hopefully we can get it recorded.
There's two people in the audience, Bud and Angie Honline are and they were with me in the Green Swamp when we got it resonated back. Chris Connor was with us when we played what we believe is the frequency level of what we're in, what's in what we believe it to be, and we got it back, and then we were huffed at and approached. So you could be right. It could be a combination of everything. He wasn't happy. And then when I did it up here, we got stones thrown at us. So they weren't happy. I don't know, anything that throws stones is going to be too much happy about you being around. So I have to kind of agree with that. It could be both. It could be everything. They could use it for whatever, if they're using it.
It could be confusing. And maybe that's why they're showing aggressiveness to hummingbirds. They hear the humming. They think that it's vocalization, that they know that should be another Sasquatch, and it's not. It's a hummingbird. So
That may be why.
yeah,
Good point,
Interrupting communications.
Mhm.
right. Exactly.
So if you guys got any questions for anybody on the panel, we're almost at the hour mark. We'll run a little bit longer for everybody tonight, and if you want to ask some questions, go ahead. But I'm going to have everybody back at another time solo, so you guys can get to meet everybody, and we'll go through more Tristan stuff and more David stuff and more MK stuff. And I think MK is going to bring Dom Monroe back again. We're going to have an interview about Bluff Creek, their last trip there, what they found and recorded. There's some pretty amazing stuff too. So yeah, that's the plans in the future. So if you guys got any questions, please all in capital letters. I just want to thank you guys for taking time out of your night tonight to come and share this topic, because I think it's important. I personally think it's a discovery that was made by a lot of people that didn't know each other, and now it came into one resting place, and now it's something. And again, we can't say it's a Sasquatch, but you put the pieces together and the clues together and the data together, and it's approaching looking like that, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. And again, like I said, I am not the Bigfoot guru, so
It's another piece of the puzzle. That's all I see.
yeah. That's all we seem to get is pieces.
Yeah. Of a never-ending
No,
puzzle.
that may be more than one piece. It may be the piece that you realize what's on the top, the box top,
Yeah.
when you put that piece in there.
Right.
Yeah, that the key to a door.
For sure. For sure.
Okay, here we got a question. Did the peanut butter have a top on it?
Yes, it was a loose top. My mom loosened it because she thought maybe if it was too tight they wouldn't be able to open it, but it was loose on top of it.
Mm.
So it was opened. Do you have a picture of the finger holes? Is there any chance you could show that real quick?
I sure can, my friend. Sure can.
Just to show people what it looked like inside.
Yep. I got it right there. So let me get to this. Oh, wait. What's going on here? I got too much going on here.
It's all good. I
Hold on.
appreciate it.
No, I just got the wrong one. I got to stop this screen and bring up that screen. All right. I'm good now. The peanut butter jar 2 or 3? 2.
I don't know what the name. Yeah, there you go. So that's what it looked like inside. It looked like possible like fingers went inside of it like that. So
Sure does.
it didn't look like something was licking it, like a bear or something like that. So, but that's the way we found it.
Right.
With
And
those
you,
possible dermals on the side. So
and you had said that people said that look like a knife. That doesn't look like knives to me.
yeah, some people thought maybe the dermals were butter knife swipes, and I mean, I don't know. I haven't really compared the two, so I don't know if somebody else has a better understanding of that, but I mean, that's just the way the peanut butter jar was when we found it. So I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah, but where did Tristan get the Hummm recording?
Here in Washington State. Here in Washington State, right up the hill up here, Washington State. In February, it was in February. So
I'll tell you what, if I hear hummingbird sounds in my ears when I'm in the woods, I won't think hummingbird anymore.
you're thinking 800-pound hummingbird, right?
You're right. You should think twice of what's over there humming.
Or 800-pound bullfrog too. That's what I thought. I was listening to your recording of the bullfrog. I was like, that's 800 pounds, man.
That's something. That's a whole nother matter. There it needs investigated. 800-pound frog.
Yeah, for sure.
So you guys got any parting words for everybody? You got anything you want to say, or
I appreciate you having me on, and I feel like I'm carrying something with me now, that I got from here, and keep us up.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
it's good
thanks,
to-
Chris, for. Go ahead, Tristan.
No, you go ahead, Dave. You started it. You go right ahead.
Thanks for having us on your program and giving us an opportunity to bust this open a little bit more. So I think you're correct. The more we talk about it, the more we're going to find out people are experiencing this. They never thought much of it, but now they might.
Yeah, and thank you, Chris, and great to see you, David, and great to meet you, MK. I really, like I told you earlier, I really appreciate all the work you've done, MK. So it's really great to meet you finally. And,
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you again, Chris, for having us on. It was awesome to hear those other examples that David provided. I think those were excellent recordings. So yeah, there's something else to these. If it's Bigfoot, there's something else going on with them that we definitely need to look into more. And hopefully, like I said, the more we talk about it and the more we share these kind of things with people, hopefully we'll get even more examples and, more information, because that's the only way we can really solve this thing is if we all work together and share things together. So
All right. Well,
looking forward to the future.
I look forward to talking to you some more, my friend. And if you don't notice, when everybody in this panel here tonight talked about Bigfoot, they glow. There's a glow about it. There's the interest is just really, you could tell, you could see it. Especially, you see Tristan. How old are you, Tristan? Can I ask?
42.
42. You look like you're 21. I need to drink some of that water in Washington.
It's all. Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is.
I can see it's good to see that, and it's great that it was a great show that everybody talked and got a little piece of something out, and you could tell that everybody enjoys what we're talking about or interested in it, and that's what it's all about. I think that means more than anything to me, and I just want to thank you all for showing up and just being kind and being thoughtful, and it's just nice to see, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's what I got to say.
Thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Do you see this right here? Lanita Bryant?
Oh, excuse
Yeah.
She has a
Maybe it was
video.
the Hummm, the fountain of youth.
Yeah, it's the Hummm.
The Hummm.
Lanita Bryant says she has a video of the Hummm. So you want her to send it to you, Dave, or you want her to send it to me and I send it to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Lanita, you can send it to Discover Sasquatch at gmail.com. I got a banner right here. There we go. There's the banner. So, all right. Well, I want to thank you once again. Oh boy, what did I do? I left her hanging there by herself. Just let me find her, guys. And okay, where'd she go? All right. So I just want to say thank you again, and I'm gonna put you all backstage, and I'll say goodnight to everybody, and then I'll see you guys shortly.
Sounds good.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the panel of the Hummm, the fellowship of the Hummm, whatever you want to call it, the Purr, the Hummm. Lanita, we look forward to hearing that tape, and so thank you guys, and I'll see you backstage. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. MK Davis, Mr. David Ellis, Mr. Tristan Yolton. All right. What a great show once again. Thank you all for showing up tonight. I really appreciate it. Remember to keep Brown Dwarf in your prayers. He's out in those fires. It's a scary thing out there. It's burning and they got no water, and it's please keep him in your prayers. He's a really great guy. So again, Discover Sasquatch, gmail.com, right there if you see it. send your recordings of the hum. I got Bud and Angie's I'm going to send off. We'll keep this going. Something's going on out there, and we'll get to the bottom of it, hopefully, all together. So you know what's next, everybody. What my friend Larry says, get in the woods, people.
I'm trapped inside a fake reality. Better days will never come for me.